Eagles still hoping for the 2 seed in the NFC. Broncos still hoping, well, to make the playoffs and avoid what happened last year and losing everything in December. Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you here on the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers. And Pat, this is a tough task here for the Denver Broncos because not only did they lose at home to the Raiders in a game that they weren't supposed to lose, now they're being reminded of what happened last year, losing the lead, a 3-game lead to the San Diego Chargers, losing it all, not making the playoffs, and they have to go to Philadelphia. What do they have to do to win this ball game?
Well, they have to stop reading the newspapers and stop hearing about their December problems. This is a brand new coach and a new quarterback, and those guys, that's irrelevant to them. What is important to them is as they study the Philadelphia Eagles, they realize that here comes a high-pressure blitz defense. We got to block that thing because I don't think they're going to run the ball well enough to stay up with the high scoring that the Eagles put on the table now. So you're thinking about how do I stop that pressure package? And Sean McDermott, he pressures more than the late Jim Johnson did.
You talk about stopping or not being able to run the football. They couldn't stop the run last week. They gave up more than 200 rushing yards to the Raiders, and you know, that's the problem in the Broncos' losses this season. The difference in the run defense has been huge. Now, we know the Eagles like to come out and throw the football, but all these gaps in this Broncos defense of late, that's a big-time concern.
You know, and Mike Nolan deserved credit at the halfway mark of this season for Coach of the Year because of the way. But he was scheming this defense. He knew he didn't have enough players to line up in the 34 and just knock you out. He had to move things around and take some gambles, and they paid off. But people study those tapes. So what happened? They found some little cracks in it, and they found it in the running game, and they'll run the ball here. Now, we think Westbrook is going to come back. He will not play a full game. He'll get 10, 15 plays. I don't think it'll be in the running game. I think he'll be more as a receiver. But LaShawn McCoy, to me, that guy is not only the replacement, he's the guy that you want to feed the ball to. I could see on a game where wind and cold, it could be a factor, that we'll see LaShawn McCoy getting 15, 20 carries.
And let's not also forget what Leonard Weaver has done in the absence, because he has had some big plays. He's a bigger back.
He also got in trouble with the coach
last
week.
You know, if you start spatting things off when you need to get to the line and try and spike the ball, it's a different story. But Donovan McNabb has had a great season. Let's put that out there right now. So the people that wanted Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb gone 6 weeks ago, he's had a great season. Now, I know it's all about the postseason and for them getting to the Super Bowl. But you look at the Broncos and the secondary and Champ Bailey and trying to shut people down. You can't shut down DeSean Jackson. So what do you have to do to minimize his damage and his impact on this ball game?
Well, they're probably going to match him up with Champ. And just, you know, Champ, you got this guy. This is a game-breaker guy. And then sometimes, if you're really honest, Champ needs some help, too. People don't see that all the time, but so you get a little safety over the top. But when they cross the 50-yard line, they're in that 35 to 40-yard line area. That is a very dangerous place where the Eagles are going to strike for the end zone with DeSean Jackson. Got to be real smart in your coverage calls down there, and you better have 2 on DeSean. And you better not always make it corner safety because the guy runs across the field. And you see some of his big plays. He's running away from cover 2 over to the people on the other side, or if you play 4 across, he gets behind the backside corner. So you got to have a really good player running around with him with zone behind it.
Or running reverses to him. You got to have guys all over the field spotting DeSean Jackson, and of course in the punt game as well. Now the Broncos have a great guy in their return game too with Eddie Royal. We saw that in the Chargers game back week 6 or so when he had a couple of returns as well into the end zone. The Broncos last week, as you said, they had struggled to run the football last week. They could not do it against the Oakland Raiders. You said you don't think they can run the football enough. Do you think Kyle Orton to Brandon Marshall and whomever else will be enough to keep up with the Eagles?
No. I don't. Not on the road. I think when you see Jamarcus Russell come down the field and throw a winning touchdown, you got to put that into the equation. That's a bad sign. Can the offense stay up with the Eagle offense at home? No, they can't do it. So here comes Brandon. Brandon will get his big day. He'll catch 10 balls, and it'll be 150 yards. He might even score a touchdown or 2. But can they stay up with him? No. And they play a terrific zone defense. Asante Samuel. It's a blitz up with a zone behind it. No, he will not do enough.
I'm not sure Brandon Marshall will have that type of day, but yeah, I agree. It will not be enough.
They're going to be feeding it to him.
They're going to have to, like they did against the Indianapolis Colts. It's 4:15 p.m. Eastern. It's on CBS. And for more on this game, stay with CBSSports.com. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz.
Take care, folks.